What's up, Brew Crew? We're in Everett, Massachusetts right now. I'm going to check in with Andrew Gilman, owner of Bear Moose Brewing. Last time we talked to him was back in May. Let's see how these guys are doing now. What's going on, Brew Crew? It is beer time. We are in Everett, Massachusetts at Bear Moose Brewery. Now, back in May, we did a live stream with Andrew here. And now we have the chance to actually come to the brewery. So thank you for having us.
Yep, thanks for coming.
And the seasons have changed. Last time we touched on Dewdropper.
Yep.
We were in the spring season. We're going into those lighter beers.
Right.
Now we're in October, and I'm excited because we're getting into a little bit more of the darker ones and more of the stuff that I actually like personally myself.
Cool.
Here we are, guys. Bear Moose, and the first one we're doing here. What are we looking at right now, Andrew?
Yeah, this is our pumpkin spice, Oh My Gourd. And it has a nice caramel cinnamon sugar rim on it, which is something that we do here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
We can actually do that this time.
Yeah, right.
You know? What I really like about, you see all these pumpkin cinnamon rims.
Yeah.
And sometimes what happens is people forget that that's adding so much flavor too. Mm-hmm. That like you get some of these pumpkin beers and they're already rich in flavor.
Right.
And then when you add that rim, it can kind of be a little bit overbearing. But I can tell with yours, it's like there's just like a nice balance with the pumpkin in itself, where it's kind of it's a little bit less sweet and you kind of let the rim actually do the rest of the work, which is awesome. So this is great because now we're in the brewery, and what I think if you've never actually been to Bear Moose Brewing, what the first thing for me what I liked about is like, when you pull up and park, you're kind of like, oh, it's right here, this is it. And then when you step inside, you're like, whoa, it's a lot bigger from
it definitely is
on the inside than what it looks on the outside, which is as you would expect with a brew house. You want open space, public house. I noticed you got some artwork on the walls over here.
Yep.
Is there a backstory to that?
So this was done by Will Strations. Will. He's a young kid, actually a young lacrosse player who does graphic design. But he approached us last year asking if he could showcase his artwork, and he actually had kind of an art show in mind, with a theme. So that's what you see here. These were done specific for the art show. He had some other works that he sold, but he was really kind of showcasing these pieces here. They're light blue in honor of his his aunt who passed away from cancer. So it was kind of dedicated to her.
You guys have been doing 32-ounce cans.
32-ounce growlers.
Which I don't hate. No. I think the last time I was like, you could at least get away with saying you only had one, right? Yeah. But yeah, so what do you get? You guys are making a shift over?
Yeah, so we'll keep the growlers around, but we're really making a shift to the 16-ounce cans. We've heard almost since day one that people would prefer a 16-ounce can. It's one beer rather than two beers in a sitting. Never really part of our business plan until COVID hit, and we've kind of had to pivot a little bit, try to figure out, okay, well, how do we keep moving beer out the door? People aren't coming in. And 16-ounce cans seems to make the most sense. We're planning to have this around until at least Thanksgiving, and then we might pivot a little bit and transition to gingerbread spice. I talked all about that last year and never did it. Some people will come in and be like, so where's the gingerbread spice? I'm like, well. So we actually have another a pilot batch that I did. So it's a stout. We have a stout on tap, which we've had since day one. It's our oatmeal stout, but this one, this stout is more chocolate and coffee notes, so a little bit darker, a little bit higher in ABV. Just a different offering for the colder months, if you will. Yeah.
So let's give it a try.
Go grab some of those. That's great.
Yeah, so we were talking about going into a porter, and we came back with 2 here, which is great.
Stout.
A stout, sorry.
Yep.
Stout.
Yep.
So we got a stout
Yep.
here.
Yep. The Black Bear.
So let's go back into this and tell us about this.
Yeah. Cheers. So
Cheers.
so this is our Black Bear Stout. So we have the oatmeal stout on tap, which we've had since day one, but I wanted to offer something a little bit different, kind of in a different direction, that has, more bold flavors, more chocolate, more coffee notes to it, kind of a heftier stout, if you will.
Yeah. It finishes, it has that chocolate bitter finish at the end there, which is kind of nice.
It's nice, yeah.
And then on the nose it's kind of coffee. On the nose, really.
Yeah, I mean, first time I brewed it kind of as a pilot batch, but really happy with the way it turned out because you really get a nice blend of the coffee and the chocolate notes, and you get the different flavors across your tongue as you take the sip.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is nice.
So, what? I guess, what's the difference between a porter and a stout?
Put me on the spot. It's with the grain. A porter isn't going to be as dark or chocolatey or have the pronounced chocolate and coffee notes and things like that. The bitterness. Porter will be a little smoother, a little bit lighter in body, whereas a stout can be a little heavier in body. I think a lot of people attribute a stout to being a heavy beer.
Where did Bear Moose come from, the name?
Yeah, so my former business partner, his father is really into bears. He's from New Hampshire, so we're like, okay, bear something, play on that a little bit, kind of New Englandy.
Yeah.
They're like, Bear Moose. So, all right. It's also New England.
No one's from Maine that's part of this.
Right? Yeah. No one's from Maine, yeah. We get moose down here.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. It's true. You guys started a year ago from July last year, right?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. Yeah, end
So you're
of June,
just over a year old.
Yep.
What made you guys decide Everett?
So Everett has other breweries. So when we moved here, we had Night Shift, Bone Up, Mystic, down the road, all within about a mile of each other. So we're like, oh great, another brewery, perfect fit. We felt it was a good location. A lot of people out here, close to the city, fairly accessible, either by the Orange Line or coming up Route 1. Or
How'd you get into brewing then?
yeah, so I was coming home. I was a sophomore in college. I was coming home, I think for Columbus Day weekend. It was in October. I stopped at the Barnes & Noble. I went to school in Waltham. I lived out towards Worcester. So I was coming home, stopped at the Barnes & Noble in Framingham, and on the clearance rack was a little home brew kit. So you could brew like a gallon of beer.
Yeah.
I think it was a lager or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the little bubble thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. Make some beer. I'm underage. It's awesome. So I did it. It was completely terrible, undrinkable. But it kind of got me hooked. I'm like, oh, let me look into this a little more. And then I found a homebrew shop not too far away. Got a homebrew kit, started doing the extract brewing. I'm like, oh, wow, this beer is not bad. Better than that.
Yeah.
Did it a couple more times. All right, it's getting a little better. Kind of got hooked on it. I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. And then I started looking into all the different styles of beer that are out there, which are unavailable or were unavailable when I was doing this. You just couldn't go to the liquor store and buy these, buy these kinds of beers. So like, wow, I can make this kind of beer, this kind of beer. I want to try all these. So it got me excited, like the world of possibilities.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So kind of started doing that. So it's been, let's see, 20 years almost?
20 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I remember one batch where every bottle was a bottle bomb, and you just hear the glass breaking in the bottle, and it's just like, oh no, these are grenades just waiting to go off.
Yeah.
Can be a little dangerous.
So I guess it's funny you actually bring that up because What do we got here with this brown?
Yeah.
As far as,
so this was an attempt to make a brown ale that I did on a small scale before opening the brewery. So I was confident in myself. All right, let's just go full scale on it right away. It was going to be one of our main beers on opening, so I went right for it. Ended up over-hopping it and tried it and said, well, that's not a brown ale, that's a brown IPA. So we put it up as a brown IPA and we call it the Grizzly.
Okay.
Everybody seemed to like it. I'm like, all right, cool, it's a new thing, brown IPA, all right, whatever, but it's a thing. People like it, let me brew it again. So I tried brewing it again because I'm like, oh, I got my notes from the last time, followed my notes, the recipe that I had written down, and it didn't come out the same. And then we have the Hibernator.
Now we have the Hibernator.
Yep.
It's nice because this is actually kind of a nice beer for this time of year.
Yep.
It's like it has those. It's not as heavy as as the Black Bear.
Yeah.
But it is like we're in fall. We're going into winter, and this has got great. It's still got a bite to it, which is crisp and refreshing. Yep. But it kind of has those notes of like, okay, we're going into hibernation now. We're getting towards closer towards these. Right,
starting to cool off a little bit. You get the malty notes that come through. Yeah. You get a little bit of the hoppiness, but it kind of balances out.
Again, thanks for having us here.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate
it. These beers have been fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. For anyone who wants to get out and get into those seasonal types of beers, Bear Moose is doing it right here in Everett, guys. So come on down, and thanks for having us. And
thank you so much.
Can't wait to keep trying all your new stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you next time on Beer Time.